The NHL season starts next week.
What?
You want to bet?
I believe you.
You should do it at sportsinteraction.com.
Oh,
It's Canada's sports book. Football's back. Baseball playoffs coming up. Hockey season literally next week. You can bet pregame. You can bet live and play like Jesse did when we were at Game 7 for the Leafs, the last time the Leafs played hockey. And, on many of the prop bets, too. You can check them all out. They're great. It's made for Canadians by Canadians. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now and see all that sports betting has to offer. Head on over to sportsinteraction.com/STPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/STPN. Ontario only. 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Kevyn Adams gets an extension in Buffalo. I didn't realize this. Check this out. The Sabres had 35 points from March 2nd to the end of the season last year.
Dude, they were good.
Now, that's 12th best in the NHL during that span.
During the span where the games didn't matter.
The Leafs were the kings of March.
Yep.
In the early years of my LFR videos.
Oh, yeah. And then they would just miss the playoffs by 2 points.
And they would, they would just be like, all right, let's fuck up our draft pick. And they would do that every
Boy
year.
Devereaux, last game of the season.
First ever hat trick in a 600-plus game NHL career came in his last ever NHL game, but it got the Leafs Nazem Kadri instead of Braden Shen, which I would say worked out.
Yeah.
Because Burke wanted both. He was pissed. It's a tough one to evaluate. The Leafs used to be the kings of March. The Sabres, I think the Sabres were good before the dog days, though.
They had a good start last year, right? They had they didn't, as in they won a few games, and people were like, "Hey,
yeah."
But then there's, I think the Sabres were among the teams in the NHL who probably played the most games against backup goalies.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to play them, and there's a lot of good backup goalies in the NHL. I think.
And they're in a terrible division for them. It's a terrible division.
They deserve, I'm going to say, reserved credit. Here's a question I have, Jesse, who has a computer in front of him. Who the hell are the Sabres' two goalies? I know they have Craig Anderson, who's 41, and
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen?
Is he?
Eric Comrie and Craig Anderson. That's
That's tough.
That's not great.
That's tough.
Yeah, Ukko-Pekka and Malcolm Subban are in the AHL.
I mean,
that's their four.
that's and I mean, Craig Anderson was better than anyone could rightfully expect a 40-plus-year-old to be in the National Hockey League. But we're getting away from the point. Kevyn Adams has done a job with the Buffalo Sabres that prior to the Eichel trade, I would have never imagined possible.
Hopeless.
Yeah.
Completely
it felt
hopeless. They did a great job in that deal. I'm taking nothing away from Jack Eichel. I expect him to have an amazing season with the Vegas Golden Knights. But they got some really good pieces.
Well, okay. Alex Tuch, Peyton Krebs, a first and a second.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Noted Alan Walsh client, JJ Peterka.
That's right.
Who I even texted him when he announced that. I was like, JJ Peterka's really good. Good job.
The Buffalo Sabres have some real pieces. It's just a little quick to be like, they had a great end of the season, because teams don't go 0-82. Every team will reach a threshold, So, but
they had 35 points, which is good for 12.
But if you look at the Buffalo Sabres and the job Kevyn Adams has done, is thumbs up. Fantastic. They have serious pieces like Tage Thompson, the 41 goals he had last year.
Absurd.
Who saw that coming? Absurd. Even Dahlin's improving a lot.
Dahlin taking a full season of Dahlin performing like that with Owen Power behind him.
Yep.
That could really be a disruption in the Atlantic.
Dylan Cousins is still there.
Not quite at the same level as those guys, but yeah.
Still there. Jack Quinn. They got a lot of prospects.
And 40-goal scorer Tage Thompson.
And 40-goal scorer. They got a lot of good pieces.
A resurgence.
Very excited for the future of the Buffalo Sabres.
A useful, I'm going to say, Jeff Skinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Useful.
Is he overpaid? Yeah, okay, fine. But is he useful? Absolutely.
Ilya Labushkin.
So you're...
They got Ilya Labushkin?
They got
Boosh? I didn't realize that.
I forgot about that.
I'm going to miss Boosh. I liked him.
Boosh. I miss I miss offensive dynamo Ilya Lyubushkin.
Oh man, they weren't kidding. With like, you won't see much on the offensive side, and they were not kidding.
Yeah, but then he scored, I think, amazing 2 goals with the Leafs.
Weird.
And he had that one crazy rush play. Oh, it was great.
So the Kevyn Adams extension, I think. I mean, Buffalo, like the light is at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel's quite long at this point. Kevyn Adams deserved the extension.
The light's on.
The light's on.
Light wasn't on.
Yeah.
Well-earned extension.
Yeah.
Okay.
Light wasn't on for a long time.
Also, it's that part of the year where everything's hopeful. Listen, you have to remember, as Steve says, the best shape of your life this time of year.
And no one's lost a game in months.
Bingo. And so I'm happy for Buffalo and that sort of thing. I'm not saying that they're going to be this team this year, but for at least 3 teams every year, the situation feels absolutely hopeless. It was just that usually those teams switch out. And for the last 8 or 9, it's been Buffalo.
Yeah. Listen, so
it's nice to see them.
Yeah, someone's got to finish last. But I don't think there's anywhere to hide in the Atlantic. Like even the teams that finish 6th, 7th, 8th, I think are going to make it really difficult to earn points, and there's going to be a lot of close games.
I like that as a Leaf fan because, and I said terrible division. What I meant by terrible division is that it's terrible for the Sabres because it's going to be really hard. But every game's going to be hard.
Good.
Yes, yeah. But with the Leafs, I really like that because one of the knocks against them, and I don't think it's warranted anymore, it might have been early on, is that there were nights where they just didn't show up. And
a lot of them were against Buffalo.
Yeah. They've lost a surprising amount of games to Ottawa and Buffalo recently. It's crazy. But I don't think that they're going to be allowed to do that. And once you're in that mode of, we're going to have to fight every night, there is no off night here. Like maybe we get one night against Philadelphia and it's not so bad. But even then, it's torts, man. It's torts. It's not easy.
And every player on that team has 2 fists.
They're going to be the Broad Street Bullies again?
Is there an easy game in the Eastern Conference? No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. There might be teams that are easier to get points out of, but every game is unpleasant.
Jesse wanted to talk about this last time, but the most important list in the world got in the way. Although I did get some complaints. The kid line in New York, Lafreniere, Churtle, and Kakko. Keedle. I always get it.
You can be forgiven. It's not spelled Heedle.
Gerard Gallant said yesterday, if they're starting the season together, I'm happy with it.
Ooh.
They played sheltered minutes, but they were extremely effective in the playoffs last year, which is when they originally were together, Jesse.
I was going to save this for our season previews, but I want to say it. I want to say it now.
No.
Ahead of that.
No.
I want to preview my preview.
No.
I'm all in on the New York Rangers.
Shut up.
That's my Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah, real hot take. Team that went to the Eastern Conference Final.
Excuse me. There's 32 teams. You got to pick one, and I'm all in.
Eastern Conference Final with the Vezina winner.
This team is real hot take. Ridiculous.
I like Jesse for his risk taking.
I'm just saying. I'm getting it out there. So when all of you follow my lead, and you're all in on the New York Rangers as well as your Stanley Cup pick, I just let you know I was there first.